What's going on, you guys? Super stoked about this video, okay? How I went from 274 pounds to 238 pounds in just 6 weeks, okay? This is specifically for single former college athletes that are now professionals that have gotten this stomach that they developed over time and want to get it gone. But more importantly, they want to regain their confidence and make this a permanent change, okay? This is for people that are coachable, that are ready to understand that what you did in the past is what got you here. It's not going to work anymore in order to get to where you want to be and make this a permanent change. So you've got to be able to adapt and listen to the things we're going to teach you in this video, okay? This is not for people that are not coachable, that don't want to listen, that are kind of the know-it-alls of the group, okay? And also, look, if you only played high school sports or maybe you started college sports, but you never graduated, it's not for you either. And it's not ain't nothing wrong with that group. It's just that there's a certain specific problem that this program solves with what I'm going to discuss. And it's really for those that, single former college athlete graduates that are now professionals and the problems they went through and why they have those problems now and how this can solve it for good. Okay. So if that's not you, probably not the video for you, but there's plenty out there. But if that's you, you're going to want to stick around because by the end of this video, you will understand how to lose from 20 to 60 pounds in the next top 3 months and keep it off for good. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this. Okay. So before I dive in, who am I? Okay. My name is Placid Njoku. So I played college football and I did very good. I was one of the best players on the team. We did great things. We went to a national championship. It was fun. Okay. I was a guy that was always known for his physique. I was jacked. I had big biceps. I had big legs, strong, six-pack, ripped, and it was fantastic. Okay. And the reason why is, everything was provided for me by the coaches, and I worked really hard as well. Okay. But what happened was I finished playing. The coaches were like, hey, the scouts want to see you at this way. They want to see you at this way. So I kept putting on this weight to please them. And I got all the way up to 275 pounds. And then the next thing I knew, football was over. A couple months go by. I'm starting to kind of excel in my career. And I'm sitting on a plane. I'm in first class. You think that life is good. And I fall asleep. And the lady elbows me, the lady next to me. She goes, hey, you're snoring. You're waking everybody up. And that's when it hit me. I was no longer in shape anymore. You see, I had never snored in my life. I had never had somebody elbow me and say that I had been snoring. Okay. So that told me that now my arteries are clogged up. What was lean muscle jacked is now slowly trying to convert into fat. And I was like, this is not the way I can live, guys. So I had to put together something to change my life and get back on track. And that's what I did. Okay. And in just 6 weeks, I was able to get all the way to 238 pounds. And I've been there ever since. Lean, six pack, year round. Okay. When we don't bulk and then cut, this is a permanent change. Okay. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that if you stick throughout this video. Okay. So, one thing I noticed is it's really fitness, nutrition, and accountability, guys. Those are the three things you have to have in order to be successful. But in order for fitness, nutrition, and accountability to be sustainable, they have to be done a certain way. So let's dive into this first lesson here. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, okay? So this is supposed to be done in a way that not only is it sustainable, guys, but it's easy, okay? People say, oh, there's no way you can lose that much weight that fast. That's not healthy. But fitness, nutrition, and accountability, they make a certain shape, okay? So if we look here, we got our triangle, okay? At the top, we got fitness, everybody's favorite, right? We got nutrition, and we have accountability, okay? The three big ones, all right? But what you notice is all three, when they're together, they form a triangle, and it's a closed triangle, okay? When you have this closed triangle, it becomes very difficult for your body to hold on to unwanted weight. And as a result, it starts to drop and incredibly fast until you're at the determined weight that you want to be at long term, okay? But you've got to have all three in place. And a lot of programs out there, they will have maybe fitness, Then they'll have a nutrition, possibly, but no accountability. So now when you do that, you end up with an open triangle. Okay, this part right here would be wide open. And so boom, now it's really easy for that weight to stay. Some places will have no fitness, maybe they just have accountability and nutrition groups. And then now your opening's up here, guys. And let me tell you, that is not at all what you want, okay? So we got to talk about how it is that you fix this. So that's what we're going to dive into, okay? So in order for fitness to work, what you have to have is a plan, okay? A plan is the key to success, all right? The first thing people say is, I don't have time. I'm busy. I'm working. I'm striving in my career. I want to do this. I want to go on a date. I want to try and meet the opposite sex. There's so many things that they want to do, guys, but you do have time, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how, okay? So use this grocery store analogy. You go to the grocery store without a list, okay? Grocery store is a big thing. You don't know what you need to get. You don't know what you want to get, but you know you need to have enough food to go from Monday to Sunday. So you go in there. This could take you anywhere from 45 minutes all the way to 90 minutes, right? Because you go in there, you start looking at all the shelves, reading different things going, you start reading the labels, you Google a couple things that you saw in there to see what the reviews are on them. You spend time, and then next thing you know, it's been 90 minutes, okay? Because you didn't go in there with a plan. Now take a person that goes into the grocery store with a list of the 10 items that they need to make it through the week. That person is in and out of the grocery store in 15 minutes, okay? And it's because they had a plan. They have the same amount of hours in the day. Me, you, Warren Buffett, we all got the same amount of hours in the day, okay? But it's what you do with those hours and how you're intentional that allows somebody to be successful, okay? So step one, having a plan. Now, Coach Plasser, that sounds great. But what is a plan, okay? So a plan, in order to be effective, must be 4 to 6 weeks, okay? It's got to be 4 to 6 weeks. Anything less than 4 is ineffective, okay? Anything more than 6 is too repetitive and leads to injury. So what do I mean by that, okay? A plan needs to be about 3 days a week, okay? So you're going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but you have to do the same workout each week, okay? So you got 3 days. You got workout 1, workout 2, workout 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You have to repeat this the next week, guys. Now, why is that? So if I take you and I take you to the gym right now, we work out, you haven't worked out in a long time, and you do planks, you're only able to get the plank for 30 seconds, okay? Dang, you really want to try it. Your goal is to get to a 90-second plank. Me and you work out for the next 2 months, but we don't do another plank until the very end of month 2. Do you think that plank time would have gone up or would have gone down? Or stayed the same? It's either going to stay the same or it's gone down. It dang sure ain't going up, no matter how much bench pressing we're doing, okay? That is why it's important that a plan must repeat in order to force the body to change and see results, okay? So whatever you do week 1, you must repeat week 2, week 3, and week 4. But there's levels to this, okay? And this is where it gets good. So people go, well, I don't know what to do in the gym. So you want to do what's called a compound movement. So a compound movement is an exercise that works multiple muscles at the same time, okay? When you do this, for example, a squat thrust, that is a compound movement that allows you to work the legs, the core, the shoulders, and a little bit of triceps, boom, all in the same 10 seconds. Whereas if you try to do it individually, you got to do squats, you got to do planks, you got to do front press, and then maybe even Arnold press to equal the same thing, okay? So now that alone is taking you 30 minutes, you see? So compound movements versus isolation movements. An isolation movement could be like leg extensions, okay? I'm here to tell you right now, if you want to get back in shape, isolation movements that are slow, like leg extensions, when you have 30 to 40 pounds to lose, is not going to get it done, okay? Exercises like that are effective when you are already lean. If you have a long way to go, you'll feel the burn, but you won't actually see the changes that you want, okay? So step 1, we need 4 to 6 weeks, okay? Step 2, it must be compound movements that we are doing, okay? Squat, thrust, various other exercises, okay? So if we're doing for 4 to 6 weeks, we're doing compound movements, okay? Here is the kicker. In order for this to work, you must have a time, okay? So 90 minutes a week is all we want, okay? So you want to write your workout plan based on what you're trying to do, okay? Full body is typically the best way. We're not going to be those guys that go around and, we're going to do shoulder day, we're going to do back day. Let me tell you something about those guys, okay? I'll just be quite frank here. The guys that do that, all right, and see results, okay? 90% of them are on steroids, okay, and aren't going to live to be 60. So you take that how you want to. That is the fact of the matter, okay? We're here to be healthy. You want to live a long time, make this a sustainable thing. Get that out of your mind, okay? We're going full body, okay? The only other way that's acceptable is what's called a split routine, where you split the body in half, go full upper, full lower. But for demonstration purposes, what I had to do 3 full body workouts, okay? So I needed to go 30 minutes, okay? That's 90 minutes a week. So on Monday, I put together a workout plan. I wrote it out. I wrote out what I wanted to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, okay? But I was by myself, guys. I was like, man, it's different. I remember those coaches walking around with the whistles. One time, my coach even had a mega horn. I mean, it was great. The energy, all your teammates are going around. Everybody's working, so you go fast. But you go to the gym, and I'm looking around at everybody. I'm staring at everybody. I'm checking the time, taking too long, okay? So what you have to do is you must set a timer, okay? So you want to beat the clock. So if the workout is supposed to be 90 minutes, you need to set a timer for 30 minutes, guys. 30 at the lowest, 40 at the absolute highest, okay? And you want your workout plan to be jam-packed. So it has to be filled with things, okay? So you're doing a workout plan that is absolutely jam-packed, filled with things from the brink, and you're trying to complete it in 40 minutes. So as soon as you walk into the gym and you're done warming up, you're going to hit the stopwatch on your phone, and your goal is to finish your entire workout in those 30 to 40 minutes, preferably 30, okay? And then screenshot the time that you got at the end. Did you get it or did you not? Okay. Now this forces you to beat the clock, okay? Because you want to put your favorite things at the end. So I love doing biceps. I love doing triceps, all right? My arms look great, okay? And so what I would do is I would put my favorites at the end. So biceps, triceps on a full body day would be at the end, because I'm not going to let a whole week go by, working my biceps and triceps, right? So now that's naturally making me go faster. I know I need to beat the clock. So instead of sitting around looking at my phone, I'm on a mission when I'm in the gym, okay? And now as a result, week 1, I didn't get it. I got dang 38 minutes. I'm like, dang, man, you got to get better, all right? But guess what? The same workout's coming next week. You know what's coming. Get ready, eat the right foods, let's go. Week 2, boom. I'm at 33 minutes. Boom. Week 3, 27 minutes. I'm like, whoa, I got it done. So what do I want to do now? Now I want to increase the weight. Week 4, increase the weight, did it all, still knocked more time down, 25 pounds. I stepped on the scale and I was already down 26 pounds in 1 month. Okay. That's how fitness works. You must have a plan, all right, that you can stick to for 4 to 6 weeks. The goal is to graduate from that plan within 4 weeks, okay? You got to be able to complete your jam-packed workout of compound movements within those 30 minutes, okay? Moving on from there. The next thing that you're going to need to do, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, after we do the compound movements, you put your favorite workouts at the end, okay? Nutrition. Here it is, okay? We're not going to do strict diets. That doesn't work, okay? I'm not going to ask you to take away your favorite foods. I'm not going to look you in your face and tell you can never have a sandwich or a slice of cake ever again. That's not sustainable, okay? Because what ends up happening is we all got that one friend, okay? That friend that, was in great shape. They did everything right. They looked exactly how they wanted to look, okay? And then over time, they gained weight. And then they did something to try and lose the weight, and then the weight came back, okay? That is what we call muscle memory. So when you play a sport and you roll your ankle, break your ankle, you need to learn how to walk again. That muscle clicks and it's like, oh, this is how we used to walk. And we relearn how to walk because it remembers, okay? But when it comes to nutrition and health and wellness, that can be our worst enemy, because if you do a strict diet that's too strict, The second you stop that strict diet, all the weight comes back, okay? That's that muscle memory. We're not gonna be doing fads, okay? Fads don't work. We cannot do keto, okay? Keto will not get you to where you wanna be, okay? CrossFit is not gonna get you to where you wanna be. Everybody runs around the parking lot, but nobody's nutrition is right, okay? And the problem with these fad diets is they're not sustainable. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna attack keto and I'm gonna tell you why it's not working because somebody watching this is thinking I'm gonna do keto. Keto doesn't work, okay? Here is what keto does. Keto is a high fat, almost no carb diet, okay? So what does a carb do? A carb, okay, is responsible for maintaining the muscle mass that you currently have, okay? Fat, as we all know, is fat, okay? And then the third food group is protein. Protein, right? So with keto, you're getting some protein in, a decent amount of protein. So that protein is allowing you to build new muscle, okay? So your muscle's going up, okay? Fat going up a lot as well, okay? Now, as you build that new muscle, what do you need to maintain that muscle? You need your carbs. However, you're not having any carbs really with keto. So carbs are down, okay? So now what's happening is you're breaking down your muscles to build new muscle, but you don't have anything to maintain that new muscle. So your muscle ends up dropping drastically, okay? So muscle is going down fast, okay? Fast. You are losing it. And what do we know about muscle? Muscle weighs more than fat, right? But what has been going on this entire time? Fat is just shooting up. It's fat, 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 okay? Fat's lighter, muscle's heavier, muscle's dropping because the protein's going in. However, there's no carb to maintain the muscle that you build. So your fat is super high and you lose muscle. So you're replacing your muscle with fat. And because muscle weighs twice as much as fat, guess what happens? The scale drops significantly fast, okay? And so people get on the scale, a month or two into keto, and they're like, holy crap, I lost 30 pounds. Yes, you traded out a bunch of muscle, because everybody has to have muscle to move, and you added a bunch of fat. So now you're fat. And you're probably thinking, oh, Placid, you're crazy. Now I want you to think right now and listen to me very carefully. Think of that one person you know that did keto. Everybody knows one. I'm not talking about Terry Crews, who you saw on TV getting paid $1 million to say he did keto, who never freaking did keto, okay? I'm serious. Think of that one person you know that did keto, or multiple. Here's how every keto story ends. You're lighter, and you are flabby all over. You got the bat wings looking on your arms, okay? Every person that you know, think about that person right now that you know, they looked this way at the end of keto, okay? And that is because they went from being, maybe an out of shape person to being a body made of nothing but fat. That is what keto does to you. It just makes you fat, okay? You're trading out muscle for fat. So yes, you will be lighter, but you will not be healthier because your fat has gone up. You will not be any tighter or more toned because you don't have any muscle. So you're going to be flabby. And that's, I'm sure you've seen them, it's not a very good look, okay? And somebody watching this may have tried keto and that may be exactly what happened to you, okay? But that is why that happened. And it's not your fault that you got it wrong, guys. It's not your fault that you fell for the keto and all the other fad diets out there because you were told keto was the way by somebody that was trying to sell you keto, okay? Or you were sold that by somebody that was trying to fill out for one of their other inadequacies, okay? You may have had a trainer that actually didn't understand how to make a nutrition plan that was going to allow you to be successful. So he told you to do keto so he could sell you fitness, okay? Or you may have had somebody that, wanted to hold you accountable in the groups who told everybody to get on keto and we'll all go walk together. There's a whole lot of things people do that trap you in, but they're always trying to cover something up. And a lot of people don't actually know how to make a nutrition plan that works, which is why I'm teaching you how to do it today, okay? But what I will say here is in terms of the nutrition, these are the main groups that you need to be successful. You need your fats, you do need them. You need your carbs, you do need them. And you do need your protein, okay? In order for nutrition, the end here, right, to work. So you have to do it in a way that's sustainable. right? We want the stomach to go flat. I needed my stomach to be flat, guys. I needed it to be flat forever. I could not be on the plane snoring, so the fat couldn't be there. We had to make this and we had to make it work. So what I needed to do was make it something that was sustainable long term. So what you do is you create lists, okay? So if you go online, you search proteins, you search carbs, and you search fats, okay? And you're gonna get a series of lists of all kinds of them, right? Hundreds of them. What you wanna do is you wanna go through there and pick the ones that you like. Listen, the ones that you like, not the ones that your cousin said were good, not the ones that your doctor said, and your doctor that's over 40 pounds overweight, not the one that your friend that your friends today, not friends next week. It has to be something that you like so that it's sustainable for you. Now, when I did this, now I had a list of fats, carbs, and proteins that I knew I would like and that I knew I'd be able to stick to. Why do I stick to it? Because I made it. It's the choices that I like. It's not what somebody else told me to eat forever, okay? So now you go and you make your list of fats, carbs, and proteins that are sustainable for you, okay? And you got to figure out one meal must have no carbs at all. And you take carbs out of one meal, okay? Though carbs are good for you, they need to be out of one meal, okay? I did this, scales dropped as I was doing these workouts, right? 4 weeks to graduate to under 30 minutes, compound movements, beating the clock, taking the screenshot, okay? Doing this nutrition plan here, right? Getting our fats, getting our carbs, getting our proteins, taking the carb out of one meal, building lists that work for me, okay? And then having what's called automatic portion control. And then last was accountability, okay? So for accountability, I just went with, you can get a group of 3 to 5 family members, 3 to 5 former teammates, okay? Anybody that's kind of on the same mission as you, all right? If you get a group of teammates, hey, you get in a group chat and we all do the same workout together and compete, right? Just same way you competed on that field or in that court in college, you worked hard to become a college athlete, okay? You competed to get there. You didn't just get into the school out of nothing, okay? So compete. Hey, here's the workout. I got 36 minutes today. What'd you get? All right. Get those competitive juices burning. And as you're competing, as you're beating the clock, as you're sending the meal photos into the chat, all of a sudden you look in the mirror and the stomach is gone, okay? So in 6 weeks, I looked and now all of a sudden my abs are back, okay? All of a sudden I had, a little friend spend the night with me and I wasn't snoring, okay? And it happened quickly. It happened quickly. It happened quickly, okay? And it wasn't some fad. It wasn't some video I had to Google on YouTube. I wasn't going to CrossFit and climbing a damn rope, okay? It happened quickly because when you have the 3 pillars of health in your life in the correct manner, it's so difficult for your body to hold on to unwanted weight, especially if you're an athlete, right? Because now that muscle memory that I told you, if you've eat the wrong foods and then you do a strict diet and you lose the weight and then you stop the strict diet, it comes back. That muscle memory is also there from you, the athlete. That body also remembers that it's elite. That body remembers it's one of one. The body remembers what it's like to do everything and then still have to go study and then to try and fight to get an A, going off little sleep, which most of you do in your professional career. You go off little sleep, you get up and go, and you find a way, and you still have time to go to study hall and eat your foods. And that same person is still in you. It doesn't matter if you're 30. It doesn't matter if you're 40. It doesn't matter if you're 50. It doesn't matter if you're 60. It's still in there. But in order to awaken it, you have to have the 3 pillars of health: fitness, nutrition, and accountability. Okay, so let's recap again. So for fitness, 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, compound movements, beat the clock, graduate by the end of that 4th week. Then it's time to create a new workout plan. Now you're not having to think about workouts anymore. You know when you go to the gym exactly what you're doing that week. It's a beautiful thing. You're not walking around staring at the opposite sex, reading the description on how to do the machine, checking your text, hopping on TikTok. You're focused and elite. All right, nutrition, you know what to have and when to have it. You got your list. It's foods you like, so you're not sitting there dreading going home eating a salad if you hate salads, okay? Accountability, you've got a group of 3 to 5 people that are going to allow you to push, and it's going to allow them to succeed as well. Okay. And that is the key. I know you thought it was going to be something super hard, but it was super easy, guys. And when I realized this, I've now helped over 1,300 other single former college athletes do the same. Okay. Because as you do this, by week 2, you're going to step on that scale and it will have dropped significantly. And when you do anything faster than the average person can do, it does something. It builds confidence. Confidence that you are elite, confidence that you can do it, confidence that victory is on the way. Okay. And that's what it does. And it carries into your work, it carries into your relationships, it carries into every other area of your life, because now you've mastered yourself. In order to take care of others, in order to lead others, in order to do things to others, you need to take care of yourself. And that is what happens when you lead in your health and wellness, by doing the 3 pillars of health. Okay. That is what this program does. But moving on from that, okay, there's a few more things we still got to cover here in order for us all to be on the same page. Okay. But isn't this awesome? All right. You learned, hey, you don't have to do a strict diet. You don't have to take out your favorite foods forever. And you actually get to pick what you eat. And you don't have to think about what workouts to do. And it's actually fairly simple. This can be implemented quickly because it's not as hard as people make it out to be. The people that make it out hard are just trying to sell you something. So they want you to think it's super difficult. Guys, it's not difficult. It can be done. Okay. Now, when you do it this way, the gym goes from something that you're guilty about skipping and something that you get anxiety about to something you're excited about. Hey, last Monday, I got 42 minutes. I'm telling you right now, this Monday, I'm going to get 32 minutes. I'm going to cut my rest times down. Okay. I'm going to take 2 less water breaks. Okay. I'm going to push the squat thrust a little bit faster. You know, on the bench, I'm going to go quicker. All these things. And as you do that, it's the same as a coach standing there yelling at you, telling you to go faster. That's all the coaches do, is they tell you to go faster. And now this clock is telling you to go faster because you need to beat it in order to stay on track to graduate within 4 weeks. Okay. That is how it works. Okay. A couple other things we need to go over here. I'm going to share my screen again. Now, some of you may have tried diets before, okay, or you think this won't work for you. Look, if you're a single former college athlete that is now professional, that's exactly who this will work for, because you understand the value of time. You understand what it is to compete and win. You understand what it is to make it to the start something and make it to the finish line. And that's why this is going to be a sustainable change for you. Okay. You may have tried other things in the past. Okay. But complication doesn't work. Okay. Simplicity scales. And when you simplify it like this, it became a permanent change. And I've been able to maintain this forever. I look at it everywhere I go, I get compliments to this day. It never stops. And it's because I made it sustainable, guys. And I've done this for 1,300 other clients. I had a client, Shelby. She was a volleyball player at UGA. And she had done great things in college. Afterwards, she had gained so much weight. And she implemented this system with me. And in 3 months, she had dropped 55 pounds. And everybody said, no, 55 pounds in 3 months. And she was ecstatic. She looked great. And that's what happens when you do this, okay? It's just hard for your body to hold on to this unwanted weight, okay? Most people shoot to lose 55 pounds in the next 3 years, okay? It can happen in a couple months when you do it this way. But you've got to plan it out and follow the 3 pillars of health, okay? Now, there's really 2 paths you can go down here, all right? You can do nothing. You can keep doing what you've done and look the way you've been looking and wait another 6 months and tell yourself, you know, you're going to start again next summer and make excuses and feel sorry for yourself when you look in the mirror. Or you can make a change. And when you make a change, the good news is it's a change that's going to last forever. It's not going to be like keto. It's not going to be like CrossFit. It's a permanent change. And in regards to making that change, there's really 2 things you can do with that. You can implement this yourself and you will see results, or you can do this on autopilot. You can get the exact workout plan that's going to get you to where you want to be. So you don't even have to think about that. You can get the exact nutrition plan that I use, the list that I built of the exact best foods that I love, and I can even build the list with you. And you can have the accountability system put in place for you in case maybe your friends aren't on the same track as you. Maybe they don't want to be fit. Maybe your family thinks you're crazy for even wanting to try and change it. They think, oh, you know, once you get over 35, your metabolism is too slow. You can't do it. Okay. We can implement all of this for you within 72 hours, and you will have results within 7 days if you book a call with my team. All you have to do is click the link in the description. Me and my team will be able to hop on there. We'll be able to implement this for you. We'll tell you about what it is we do, how we do it, so that you don't even have to think about this. Imagine that. Imagine having your body on autopilot for the rest of your life. Never having to worry if your clothes are going to not fit again. Never having to worry if your belly is going to come back. Okay. Never having to worry if your coach is going to disappear again. And remember how you lost that coach when you graduated? That'll never happen again. And that's what this program does. So if that's you and you're ready to take action and you don't want to go another 6 months and start over, and you don't want your belt to pop off, and you don't want to have to try and hide your belly in your clothes, and you don't want to have to hide in pictures because you don't want people to see what happened, and you don't want to feel heavy walking up the stairs, and you don't want to snore in your sleep, then all you have to do, guys, is call me. All right. Click the link in the bio, book your call with me. I'm going to show you the success roadmap that's going to get you from where you are right now straight to where you want to be without you even having to think about it. And the best part is, guys, it's sustainable. It's permanent. It's results that last a lifetime. And you will never have to think about health and wellness again. Your stomach will be flat. If you want abs, you'll have abs, okay? And more importantly, this is going to carry into other areas of your life, okay? If you have a family, they'll see these things too, okay? You'll become an example. And all of a sudden, your competition drive will be back, but in the best way. And that's what we do, guys. That's what I do. I've helped over 1,300 former college athletes do the same, okay? Phil played at Alabama. Alabama, top place. He gained almost 100 pounds after playing, guys. He's lost 87 pounds in just his first 5 to 6 months. And he looks amazing. And he always texts me and goes, I still can't believe that I fit back into these old clothes. I thought that when I put my clothes in the dryer, they had shrunk. And that's why my shirt wasn't fitting. But it turns out I was just getting bigger by the day. And for him to be so happy and be able to fit back into that outfit, that's what it's all about, guys. And that's what we want to do for you. So take the time, click the link in the bio. We'll get on the call. We'll figure this thing out. We'll make it permanent for you, and you'll never have to look back again. No more starting over, and it starts with you. I'll see you guys on the call.